Hi everyone, welcome to Everything in Tea. I'm your host Tiffany. Welcome to the show. Today we've got a craft tutorial to do, and we've also got a tea to talk about. Let's get started with the tea. The tea is a Bigelow peppermint. It is an herbal tea. It's good for your throat, which apparently that's what I need right now. I do have it in my little Hello Kitty cafe cup, because I love Hello Kitty. Also, on a separate note, Build-A-Bear has got a new Hello Kitty. They've got a summer wave Hello Kitty that's blue. Also a beach kitty that they just dropped. So we'll be getting the beach kitty next weekend. Yay! But anyway, I've already got the summer wave one. Anyway, follow me on Instagram. You'll see it. It's at DJ Tiffany. But Hello Kitty Cafe, it is out in Las Vegas. They do have a truck that goes around. And you can get pastries and a cup there. And also t-shirts. So, and it's really cute. There's actually a little donut on the inside without my tea spilling on my thing, hopefully. So when you drink all the tea, there's going to be a donut. So, but it's not a real donut. It's just on the cup itself. So, that is peppermint bigelow herbal tea that I am drinking because my throat doesn't like me, apparently. And so, let me set this off to the side where I don't spill it, hopefully. So, today we are going to be making a small tea light candle holder out of a air dry clay. So, first of all, with candles, you got to be very, very careful. Don't burn down your house because, or apartment or wherever you are. Do not burn the place down. That would suck. So I like these these are actually from Dollar Tree. $1.25 tree now. But, yeah, they're just like little battery operated candles. And I like them because, this way I don't walk off and forget about them. They do have an on-off switch. And so that's what I'm going to be using. We're going to see exactly how well this goes because of this. I haven't done any crafts yet. This is actually my very first craft I'm trying out with a nerve damaged hand. I think that it might be okay to do this one. I know I've uploaded a couple of other videos. One is of a piece of, a bracelet that I made. And one is of a clothespin wreath. So, I only explained how to do these. Today I'm actually going to attempt to do this. So we're going to see exactly how well it goes. For this project, you will need scissors, mainly just to open up the clay with. Any kind of a paintbrush. This is just a little paintbrush. A little cup of water, because I'll be using watercolors. I got a little bit more in my little cup here. You will be needing some form of paint. I personally am going to be using this little watercolor palette that I've got. As you can tell, I've used it. So yeah, so this was actually, I got this little watercolor palette at Five Below, I believe, for $5. And 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 28 colors is in there. So yeah, it's been a good little palette. It's good. It's a watercolor palette. The other thing you're going to need is some air dry clay. Whatever kind you use is fine. I'll be using a Model Magic from Crayola. It's soft, so I can use it easier, I think, with this hand. So this I've had since, I believe it was, I think it was October or November when I bought this thing, and it's lasted forever. Of course, now that was 2023. So, it comes in packages like this. I've still got 2 packages. There's 226 grams of air dry paint. It's 8 ounces. That's what the packages look like. Now, I've only got 2 packages of those left, but there's a lot in there. I've also had these like little air dry colored paints. They do come in different colors, like this one's yellow. This one's red, this one's blue. Those are just little things that I've kept in there. You can always, now if you open it and you want to only use a little bit of it, that's fine. All you gotta do is just add a little bit of water to it. The air dry is fine to do that. If it starts to dry up, you don't want to leave it too long or it will dry up. So we're gonna open up the, I really should have done some left-handed scissors. Okay, so I don't need the scissors anymore. Garbage. Garbage can nearby would be nice. Okay. So this is what I can get it out. This is what it's going to look like. Okay, so when you pull out the air dry clay, so you know what? We're not going to be using that much of this. So I'm just going to pull some out of there. So yeah, so I'm just going to pull some out and just sort of like give it a squeeze. You can see how soft it is. And as you can tell, there's still plenty in there. So I'm going to roll this back down. And clothespin it later. Put a little clothespin clip on there if I want to. Put it back in the little box because I won't be needing it. And now, so if you're wondering about the watercolors, what the watercolors are going to look like on air dry clay, this is a little hanging leaf I did months back. You know, it's I did this back in the fall, so you know it's been a while, but yeah, but it's held up perfectly well. It's not meant to be perfect. I didn't want it perfect. It's just a little leaf imprint. I put a leaf on there, a little imprint on there, and just painted it with the watercolors. And so you can see it's just sort of a pretty little leaf, and that's all that is. So you're going to need some napkins, obviously. I am going to move the camera now, and we're just going to see exactly how well this goes. So we're just going to move, move this over to here. Let me try to, ignore my mess. I know it. Okay. So you have got this air dry clay here. I do have my little cherry over there. So, you know, more napkins because it's going to be messy probably. Well, it's not super messy, but it could potentially be extremely messy. So let me adjust this a little bit more. And so we're just going to play around with it, get it soft, you know. I got two fingers I can use on one hand. So once you get it soft, you can roll it out like this. I also forgot to mention, and what did I do with it? I probably lost it already. You might need something to make a little hole with. I actually had something, and I think I lost it already. I was actually going to use a cuticle tip, but a cuticle stick that you push your fingers back with, but I'm going to be using the end of my paintbrush to do it with. You will see, because we want the light to illuminate outside of the candle holder. So you can just sort of like squish it down like this. And you know, this is not meant to be perfect. Like I said, you know, with nerve damage in this hand, I don't want to do anything super duper perfect. I am a perfectionist sometimes, so sometimes that gets me in trouble. You can actually take this, you can actually roll it across. It's actually one of my exercises, actually, for my hand. My hand therapist wants me to roll out a stick like that back and forth, and it just helps, you know, keep it flat, because we want it flat. So you just roll it back and forth like that, put that aside, and then what you're going to do, you're just going to go through and raise up the edges. And it is air dry clay, so it's going to maneuver easily. So it's nothing huge or big or anything. You just want it enough to where like it kind of looks like a little circle going on. You can squish in the ends if you'd like so. you know, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And you just need the bottom of it big enough to fit the light inside of. So that's all you're going to do. This is a great summer project for kids. Of course, it is air dry clay, so you don't need to like have a kiln or anything like that for it. So you're just going to maneuver the clay into a little circle like so. And it's air dry clay. It's very, very simple. So you can squish it in like that. As you can tell, I'm only using 2 fingers to do it. So, you know, it's very, very soft. It's very, very movable. The air will take care of everything else. So you don't really have a lot to do with it as far as that is concerned. And so, yeah. So you just got to make a little... And like I said, you don't want it perfect. I'm not worried about the edges. As long as it doesn't look horrible, I'm okay with it. You know, you want it to look homemade. So that is going to be the shape. You can tell on the bottom it's flat. You can tell on the sides, you know. And I'm going to be painting the sides, so I'm not that worried about the sides either. It's not going to be perfect. And I've got an injury, so you can tell how easy this project actually is. If I can do it with an injury, with a nerve damage injury at that on a hand, certainly anybody can do this. So that's what it's going to look like. A flat bottom. And so yeah, so you just got to maneuver it some more a little, you know, make the lines a little bit around the edge, evening out some. And I want that little bit of a scallop type of an edge. Like I said, I don't want it perfect. You know, it's pottery. Some pottery can be kind of like this little wavy type of a scalloped look going across, you know. I don't want it perfectly circular. As you can tell, it is not perfectly circular. I don't want it that way. If you want it perfectly circular, maneuver the clay some more to make it perfectly circular. Personally, I don't. This will be sitting out on my, I have a little table with a little box that I keep the remote controls in. I haven't painted the box yet. I need to do that whenever this gets better. I'll be doing a lot more painting. But as y'all can see, it's not exactly the ulnar nerve is right here between these 2 fingers. Okay, that is the nerve that's damaged, and that nerve there runs all the way up through my arm into my shoulder. So if I can do it with that, certainly anybody else can do this project. Very simple, very easy. And like I said, I don't want it perfect. If you want it perfectly circular, maneuver it perfectly circular. You know, just make sure you can still stick your little light in there. So once that's all done, you can check it out. As you can tell, it's not perfect along the edges. As long as none of the bottom parts are broken off, you're going to be just fine. Yeah, so that is what it's going to look like. You can kind of maneuver a little bit more on the inside if you want the inside part of it a little bit neater. My theory is, who goes into a house and looks straight down into a candle holder? I know I don't. So to me, that right there is good. You know, you don't want it perfect, or at least I don't want it perfect. If you want it perfectly circle on it, you can. So moving on, after I just spill all the water, we've got the little something on it. It's driving me crazy. So we've got the water there, got the paintbrush here. Because we are using paint, I'm going to be putting down a napkin underneath this. I'm going to be flipping it over this way to start off with. We got our paint. What color paint do you all think I should use? My favorite color is purple, and the couch is brown. So I don't know if I want to use purple or brown. We may have to go with blue. But before we start into the painting, I'm going to show you all. Okay, so I've got this little cuticle stick right here, right? And it's just something that you push your cuticles back with, right? And I'm just going to go through on the edges. And I'm going to start with one end. And I'm just going to make a little hole all the way through the clay. And when you look inside, you can just sort of make sure that the clay is open. You can make the hole as big as you want or as little as you want. Now, because this is air dry clay, because it is soft clay, it may move a little bit, so you may have to reshape it a little bit. But we're just going to go through and we're going to make some holes like that on it. You can even take the end of the paintbrush and make even larger holes throughout. Because what's going to happen is when you put the candle in the holder, it is going to be, all you gotta just go through there. So you see, even on the inside, you're just gonna have little holes going all the way through. When you go, so the idea is when you put the candle in there, the light is going to reflect out of the holes. It'll look better at night time. I'll take some pictures and put it up on my Instagram. It is DJ Tiffany. At DJ Tiffany is my Instagram. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be just making little holes all the way around. And that's another reason why I did not want it to be extremely perfect. I understand it'll work either way. If you want it perfect, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. If you've got something like I've made, this is not the first time I've done candle holders like this. I did a candle holder and made little stars around it all throughout, and I still use it to this day, and that was like maybe, I don't know, like 10 years ago. And I did not use air dry clay though. I used just a clay and used a navy blue glaze on it and had a kiln and all that fun stuff. So it did take a little bit longer to do it that way. This will be like a one afternoon project because of that reason. So we're just going to continue making holes. You can make the holes any way you want. If you want them perfectly symmetrical, that is fine. This will be setting, like I said, on my little side table, so I don't really want it perfectly symmetrical. I just want a little bit of light going through, just something fun and enough that will be exciting, you know, something different just to have on the table, you know, something that I made. I still have a little snowman that I made with sugar, well, with air dry clay back in the winter time, and I still have that setting out. I made it for winter time, and I've still got it setting out, and it's July. So I mean, you know, it's just a little decoration, really cute little decoration. So as you can tell, some of the holes are really big, some of the holes are really, really small. Around to this side now, so we're just going to poke in a few more little holes, and you know, it's just enough that the light can illuminate fully through. And go inside there and straighten up around the little holes in the side. As you can tell, all I'm doing is just going through, making sure that the holes look kind of decent on the inside, so that way they don't plop over, because the idea is for it to illuminate the light from the candle throughout. And so yeah, so I might have to squeeze it in just a little bit more, but yeah, so that's all I'm doing. I just did that, very simple, very just a couple minutes, few minutes anyway, to do all the little holes. And then we're just gonna make sure that the inside looks okay, make sure it lays flat again. And like I said, I mean, I'm using both ends of a cuticle stick. One is very pointed, one has a little flat edge around it. I'm also using a end of my paintbrush that I'm going to be using here in just a minute to paint it with. But yeah, so that's basically what it's going to look like. So it's going to look like little holes all around a basically circle with a little scallop top. And then when you put the light in there, see, it's gonna, oh! I'll show it up like this. So you see it's gonna illuminate throughout, around on the edges. I don't know if I can, but you'll see it tonight a lot better. I'll post a picture on Instagram of it. So now we're going to start painting it. I always start out in a very strange way when I paint. Obviously this is a watercolor paint, so it's going to be very, very light, very, very simple. This is what the watercolors idea will look like. It's going to be just a watercolor paint, very simple, very easy to do. A lot of water is usually involved in watercolor painting, and I think I'm going to start off with this little bit of a, I'm going to paint the bottom first now. Most people usually don't paint bottoms. I'm just going to put a little bit of a gray on the bottom, almost like a black color on the bottom, just because I like to paint bottom of things. And now people are like, oh, well, why are you starting at the bottom? Why not, is my theory. You know, and as you can tell, it's on the bottom. Nobody's gonna come in there, nobody's gonna pick it up. And if they do, you need some new people. So as you can tell, I'm not doing a fantastic job at painting because it is the very bottom of it. Just enough to give you an idea as to what it's going to look like. You can add water and make it more colorful on the bottom. The more water you add, the more paint's going to come off because it is a watercolor paint. So we're going to, and I can only use 3 hands on this. So now we got decisions to make. What color should I use for the rest? Honestly, because it is summertime, I think I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna do blue and purple. So we're gonna start off with the blue. Let's get this little blue. Not gonna be able to do it with that hand. That sucks. So we're gonna do, and you can even flip this over a little and just start painting it. And it's okay because most watercolors do blend really, really well together. So, you know, I'm not stuck to a napkin. Of course, I do everything over napkins or paper towels or something because I don't want anything to happen to anything at all. So as you can tell, I'm just painting. I'm not doing anything special to it. I'm just painting a little bit of blue here. You know, we're going to be adding some purple here after a while. But yeah, we're just doing a little bit of a painting to it. Like I said, it's nothing, you're not painting Van Gogh. It's just a very simple air dry clay paint technique that anybody can do. It is with watercolor, so of course, as you can tell, with watercolors blend very, very easily. And sometimes if you get like a darker spot, add a little bit of water to your brush and you can brush that out. Very, very simple. And yeah, and this is I'm using a pearlized paint, almost like a metallic glittery blue paint, watercolor paint. So it turns out pretty cool. Very simple. And the nice thing about this is the bottom's already pretty much dry, and since it is the bottom, I'm not worried about setting it down on anything right now because even though it's not fully dry, that's okay too. So just paint a little bit more around the edges here, and then we're just going to go back over with some pale purple just to add a little bit of spice to it, or at least what I call like watercolor spice is what I call it. Not like the Spice Girls, but watercolor spice. Yay! So yeah, and this is pretty relaxing. If I can do it with this hand, then I'm sure anybody can do this, you know. I'm very confident in my abilities and what I can and cannot do with this hand right now. I'm sure my hand's not going to like me after I'm done, but that's okay. I'm not worried about the inside part of this yet. and I probably won't be for a while. So we're just painting right now, you know, and like I said, you know, it's watercolor. Even if you just wanted to get a little bit of your brush wet and just spread it out more, you can do it that way. It kind of looks like the ocean that way, actually. So, you know, with it being summertime, it is the perfect color. So yeah, and you could even make this candle holder using a different color of clay if you wanted to just buy the color of clay you want, like the red or the blue or the yellow that I've got. You can always pick that up and just use that. And so yeah, I do have my hair in there for some reason. I think that came off my hand. Okay, so yeah, so it's just very, very simple, and you're just painting it blue. Now you can go through and you can even out some of the strokes a little bit. I kind of like them a little bit messy on this because it does remind me of the ocean that way. And you know, yeah, so you know, the ocean is all different colors of blue. So once you got that part done, as you can tell, it's not perfect. I was not going for perfect, especially with an injured hand. We're gonna set it down, wipe off my hand a little bit, wipe off. Actually, we're gonna go through with, yeah, we're gonna clean my brush off inside this water because it doesn't matter, because it is a watercolor. We're gonna go back through. We're gonna use a purple for the inside part now. It's a little bit of a darker purple, and you know, just giving that little bit of a summery ocean feel. Doesn't have to be perfect either, you know. I'm just gonna quick little dab here and there, and even if it starts to lose its shape, you can always go in and reshape it. We may add some yellow into the blue a little bit, you know, make it a little bit more colorful. We can go around the edge, and of course it is watercolor, so it will blend in, but the colors that I'm using, as you can tell with watercolors on this one, they blend in very good. So with watercolors are easy to blend with, in my personal opinion. I'm not a watercolor expert or anything like that. I can tell you how it's made and all that, but other than that, you know, I like watercolors. You could even use just the multi-purpose paint for this project. It doesn't have to be this. The little 50-cent bottles of multi-purpose paint that you get at Walmart would work fine. I've done candle holders like that before. It's whatever you want to do, you do. You do you, as far as paint is concerned. I'm just showing you the ideas to how to do a project like this. So, you know, very, very simple, very, very easy, you know, and like I said, you know, it's not going to be perfect. I don't want it to be perfect. I would worry more about perfection if my hand was not injured. I can be very, very weird that way. My OCD will start to kick in, and then I get mad at myself for not doing anything perfect. I will say this, my hand has pretty much knocked out my OCD somewhat because I haven't been able to do anything with it. But that's okay, you see, and you know, by the time this is done, we're just going to do a little bit more purple in there. And yeah, see, as you can tell, now all we got to do, I'm going to get that little spot out of there. Okay. So now we're just going to go through with a different paintbrush. I do have another paintbrush if I can get it out. Just a smaller paintbrush like this. I know some people would say, you know, you need to switch your water right now. For this project, I don't feel that I need to. We're just going to dip me in some of this. Oh, okay. Turn on this way. Okay, so far I've used this blue right here. I've used this dark purple. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of this yellow. So we've got the purple here, the blue there, and this yellow. And that's what I'm using on this project, if you're wondering how I'm getting these colors. They do look darker in that thing. And you can always pick this up. It's not going to ruin it or anything like that. It is a watercolor. And we're just going to add some yellow to the outside. You know, just a little bit of yellow here and there. Just to give it some kind of a depth type of a look to the project. You know, skip around on it. You can make little dots if you want to. You can make a straight line if you want to. This is just to give it a little bit of extra on there. And as you can tell, it's kind of a metallic yellow. You can't really, it's more like a pearlized yellow that's going over the blue. And as you can tell, all I'm doing is just doing a little light stroke down it. Just enough just to where, you know, it gives it that little bit of a sheen. Because that's really what I'm just going through on this. It's giving it a little bit of an extra sheen on it. You know, I like things that are shiny. I can do it from the bottom and get that bottom part cleared up some. You know, I'm just doing it every so often. I'm not doing it like all over or anything. And back to the beginning. So that is what I did. That is all done now. And I know I'm supposed to wait till it dries, but that is basically what this project is. It's just going to show you a little bit of an idea as to what that looks like. And of course at night this will shine through. So with air dry clay, you wait a couple of days, it will get harder, and then of course the paint will dry. Once the paint dries, you'll have yourself a nice little candle holder. And cleanup is easy. This is a great, if you've got kids that are being taught at home, it's a great little simple fun project you can do with air dry clay that they may already have. So yeah, and that way you can have yourself a nice little, really good for stuff like summertime, if you're babysitting kids, if you've got kids coming to stay with you for vacation. It's a great project for that. And so yeah, so this will dry and it'll be my perfect candle holder. So that's what I'm going to be calling it, my perfect candle holder from air dry clay. See, it kind of has that oceany look and feel to it for summertime. The inside of course is purple because I just like purple. I thought it would give it a little bit different depth to it. And so yeah, so we're just going to let it dry. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to finish up my tea now. And I will talk to you all soon, hopefully with more of a better project for you all than something this simple, but that's okay. I like the simple projects, especially with my hand being this way. So have a great day, enjoy it, and thanks for watching.